Rising food costs can crush a restaurant's profitability. The crazy part about this is, many restaurants are getting worked up and in a panic looking at the incorrect number. When it comes to the food cost formula, there's only one way to do it correctly, and I mean one way. Stay with me and learn the right way to calculate your restaurant's food cost. I'm Dave Scott Peters, restaurant expert, coach, and creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula. I've been coaching restaurant owners since 2003, and I'm really glad you're here to learn. Today, I want to talk about the right way to calculate your restaurant's food cost. But before I do that, if you like tips and tricks like this, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and oh yeah, that bell so you're notified when my next video tip comes out. And for more tips and tricks for running a profitable restaurant or to hear restaurant owner success stories, make sure you tune into my podcast, Restaurant Prosperity Formula, found on all the popular podcasting services. Look, I don't have to tell you that no matter when you're watching this video, your food costs are rising. Heck, is there a week where your broadline distributor doesn't walk into your restaurant talking about how some commodity product will be astronomically high next quarter due to some catastrophic event, like citrus crops being virtually wiped out in Florida due to a hurricane? Add to that inflation and recession, and it becomes more and more important to know where your food costs are. Before I share with you how to calculate your food costs the right way, let me tell you where most restaurants go wrong. 1, purchases divided by sales. They just take all their invoices, take whatever that total is, and divide it into the sales that came in that month for food. Well, it's an incorrect number because in 1 month, you might have ordered more product than you needed. And your sales were slightly lower than forecasted. And next thing you know, your food cost looks falsely high. Then next month, you don't order so much product because you had some from the last month that was still good, still usable, and your sales were astronomical. So your purchases are low, your sales are much higher, and your food cost looks really, really low. It doesn't work that way. That is an incorrect number. Number 2, not counting everything, meaning you're not taking inventories. Or you are taking inventories, but you're not counting all the things that you prep on the shelf. The components of dishes like diced onions and peppers, things like sauces, soups, side dishes, desserts, things you make from scratch. So all of a sudden, it thinks it's gone, which is going to give you a false reading on a high food cost. Or 3, inflating your purchases. What do I mean by this? Well, when your broadline distributor invoice comes into you and there's paper, janitorial, smallwares, equipment on there, those aren't food. You don't sell those things. So unless you remove those and only focus on what the food purchases were, you're going to have a high number. Number 4, using a spreadsheet. I'm telling you right now, you can't use a spreadsheet anymore. Yes, you could set it up. Yes, it's going to work for a little bit, but it's not going to be accurate. It's going to be hard to maintain. You're not going to do it, so you're going to have inaccurate numbers. Plus, it's so difficult to add brand new products and put them in shelf-to-sheet order that you often don't, so you're missing complete items that came in just that week. Now, in a perfect world, you're actually counting everything. You're using software, and you're separating your purchases on each and every invoice. Again, this is where software is really important. Not sure what I mean about that? Make sure you search my YouTube channel. I've talked about this often. If you're here, you know that there's a basic calculation. And that basic calculation is simple. It is beginning inventory plus purchases. So what I had on my shelves based on the last period, last week, last month, whenever the last you took an inventory, plus all the purchases from that day on to whatever the last day of the period is, whether that's a week or a month, does not matter how much purchases came in. So beginning inventory plus purchases gives you what your total available is, how much food you could sell. That if I had $5,000 on the shelf of food product when I started the week, and I purchased $10,000 in product and I didn't open the doors at all, I would have $15,000 in product on the shelf. That's the total available. Now we're taking an ending inventory at the end of the period, preferably a week, could be a month, whenever. We take that total, what's valued on the shelf at that moment, and we subtract it from that total available. This gives us our use. So you take your total available minus your ending inventory. This is use. What is use? Use, you hopefully sold it. It could have spoiled or wasted. It could have been stolen. Or heck, you might have taken it out the back door because you own the place and didn't put it on a waste sheet. But the fact of the matter, it doesn't matter. However the product leaves, the equation is math. It's blind. That's why we need other systems in our business to track and control how we use our product. But that use is the cost of the goods sold, the amount of product you used for the money you brought in. Now we take that use divided by gross sales, food sales alone, since we're talking about food cost, and that gives you your food cost percentage. So if you come up with, say, a 30% number, that means for every dollar it comes in food sales, you use 30 cents in product. Now, that is the only way, and it is the right way, to give you the right number. So when it comes to food costs, it's beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending gives me use divided by sales gives me my food cost percentage. That's it. So now with the right number, you can make proactive changes back on your budget to get back on budget. If my food cost is high, I can look at my recipe cost cards, re-engineer my menu. I can look at my waste sheets to stop dumbass mistakes, my key item tracker to prevent theft. I can change my menu. I can do so many different things, from portion controls to tracking properly. Now, it really comes down to budgeting though. That's the key word. Where should your food costs be is based on your budget. And to learn more about budgeting, make sure you search my YouTube channel here for great lessons on why you need to start budgeting, because it's critical. Knowing your food costs is one thing. Knowing where it should be for you to make money is a totally different story. If you're tired of not being able to leave your restaurant because no one else knows how to run it, I want to make sure you know it doesn't have to be that way. You can leave your restaurant. It is possible to build a team of people who know how you want the restaurant to run, with trained and responsible people in place. You can give yourself time away. What would you do if you had time away from your restaurant? Would you sleep better? Would your relationships improve? Would you feel more relaxed? These are all things you deserve to experience as a business owner. It's why we own our own businesses. If you would like to learn how to own a restaurant that doesn't depend on you to be successful, click the link in the description to watch a free video to learn exactly what you have to do. Also, be sure to subscribe to get my weekly tips and watch these 2 videos to get more information and guidance for running a successful restaurant.